Okay, thank you.
Okay, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please start with a roll call.
Okay, Council President Corman. I don't see him, but I believe he will be here. Councilmember Perez.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Councilmember Benedetti.
Here.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
And Councilmember Mcgivern.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Roll call, one absent, but I do believe he will be present.
He's present right now. I can see his name.
Okay, we're just waiting for him to pop on screen
I
then.
imagine he's having connectivity issues.
Okay. Yeah, it is pretty windy tonight.
Yeah. Okay, tonight
Okay.
we're going to start off with the roll call, please. No, actually, we're going to start off with the administrative report.
All right, thank you, sir. City Hall has been open since July for in-person services at our finance and police counters, Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Our municipal court counter is open Thursday and Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., while hearings are conducted via Zoom. Our staff continues to provide and improve virtual and online customer services, such as our virtual permit counter and our recreation programming reservation process. Space is limited in each facility, and masks are required when inside a city facility as we follow guidance that protects both you and our employees. For more information, please visit our website. Help us prevent local residential street flooding by monitoring catch basins near your home and keep them clear of leaves and other debris. Street sweepers are dispatched daily to clean up debris along major arterials. The Emergency Feeding Program, SOS, in partnership with the City of Renton, will host free lunch events for the unsheltered and those residents with food insecurities throughout the city. These events will be held at 300 Rainier Avenue North from 12:30 to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, November 16th and November 23rd. Food and drinks, personal hygiene kits, cleaning supplies, and socks will be available. Parking is located on the west side of the Renton Airport, north of the intersection of Rainier Avenue North and Airport Way. Renton History Museum opens 2 new exhibits on Wednesday, November 17th. The annual art show of the Brain Injury Alliance of Washington is in the main gallery, featuring 23 pieces by 22 artists. These works demonstrate the healing power of creativity. Also in the main gallery is Life on the Rivers, an exhibit that explores the central role of the Black and Cedar Rivers in the lives of Renton's earliest residents, the Duwamish people, and the white settlers who came later. Renton History Museum is located at 235 Mill Avenue South. Hours are Wednesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. King County Fire Chiefs Association will be hosting a diversity and recruitment workshop on Saturday, December 11th from 8:15 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Fire service professionals will be discussing preparation for written exams, ACE and the oral boards, physical and mental wellness, and medical and psychological exams. Breakfast and lunch will be served. To register for this event, please visit kingcountyfirechiefs.org's website. Renton's new Equity Commission was established on November 1st when Renton City Council adopted Ordinance number 6033. The city is seeking applicants to fill 9 commission positions, including a youth representative aged 18 to 25. Apply now through Tuesday, November 30th for consideration to serve on the commission. Visit our website at rentonlaw.gov to apply. All Renton residents and business owners are eligible. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonlaw.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting, and unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open. That is your report.
Okay, thank you. My last update is we have no one up for audience comment. Has that changed at all?
No, it has not changed, Mr. Mayor. That's correct. No one has signed up.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are on to consent agenda. Tonight we have 9 items for council consideration. Are there any items that council would like removed for separate consideration?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I move that the council concur with the consent agenda as published.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Mcgivern, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that the council concur with the consent agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. All right, next up is unfinished business, and hopefully he can speak. Council President Corman. I don't see him on here. Councilmember Mcgivern, do you know, is there any unfinished business from the council president? I don't believe
Don't
so.
believe there is. Jason can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think so, no.
I don't,
Okay,
I don't
thank
believe
you.
so. Yes, sir.
Okay, Councilmember Perez,
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Councilmember Van,
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Councilmember Benedetti,
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have a couple of committee reports from the Utilities Committee.
Okay, Utilities Committee report. The first is regarding King County wastewater treatment charge 2022 rate increase adoption. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the 2022 King County wastewater treatment charge pass-through rate increase of 4% to match King County's adopted rate and clarify city sewer rates. The committee further recommends that an ordinance be prepared to amend Chapter 5 Sewer Title 8 Health and Sanitation of City Code and be presented for first reading.
Mr. Mayor, can I move that the council concur with the Utilities Committee report? Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Benedetti, seconded by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the utility committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the next Utilities Committee report is regarding an agreement with ECOSS for pollution prevention assistance. The Utilities Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to execute the agreement with ECOSS in the amount of $170,000 to provide technical assistance, educational outreach, and training for pollution prevention assistance.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the council concur with the Utilities Committee report. Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Benedetti, seconded by Councilmember O'Halloran, that the council concur with the utility committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
No further business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Finance Committee has 5 committee reports this evening.
Okay, the first Finance Committee report is regarding hiring a tax and licensing manager. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize staff to hire the candidate for the tax and licensing manager, grade M28, position at Step E, effective November 16th, 2021.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Excuse me. The next report is regarding hiring a senior service desk technician. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize staff to hire this candidate for the senior service desk technician, grade A17, at Step D, effective December 1st, 2021.
And Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the next report is regarding an amendment to Chapter 5 of the Renton City Code. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to adopt and approve the ordinance amending Renton Municipal Code Chapter 5-5 for business licensing requirements.
And Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move that the council concur with the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the finance committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the next Finance Committee report is regarding chapters 525 and 526 of the Renton Municipal Code. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve and adopt the ordinance amending Renton Municipal Code chapters 525 and 526 for business and occupation taxes.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with the finance committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the finance committee report. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the
All
final,
right,
I have one more
we got
report.
one more.
One more report for the Finance Committee. It's regarding the City Attorney Department reorganization. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the request to reorganize the City Attorney Department by converting the Chief Prosecutor position M38 to Prosecution Director M46, adding a lead prosecutor at salary grade M38, and converting the Administrative Assistant position N16 to Legal Analyst salary grade M17.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the council concur with this final finance committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Prince, that the council concur with the finance committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Councilmember Mcgivern.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
And that is it for unfinished business. Next up, we have legislation. We have one resolution, 3 ordinance for first reading, and it's like 5 for second and final.
Yes, so the resolution is regarding the fee schedule amendment for the 2021-2022 budget cycle. A resolution of the City of Renton, Washington, amending the 2021-2022 City of Renton fee schedule.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember McGivern.
I move that the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember McGivern, second by Councilmember Prince, that the resolution be adopted as read. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the next ordinance is regarding the 2022 King County Metro wastewater pass-through charges. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 8-5-15 of the Renton Municipal Code, clarifying city sewer rates for 2021 and 2022, establishing the King County Metro wastewater pass-through rate for 2022, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the ordinance be moved to first reading, please.
Oh,
Move to second and final reading, is that what you were asking?
yes,
Don't we need to vote on it for the first reading?
this is first read. So you're,
This is the first reading.
Right.
You want to move it to second and final reading at the next council meeting?
Sure. Yes.
I need
Thank
you
you.
to make I need you to make that motion, please.
Okay, I will make that motion for you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I move that we advance this ordinance for second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Perfect.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. It's been moved by Councilmember Benedetti, seconded by Councilmember O'Halloran, that this ordinance be moved to second and final reading at the next council meeting. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
okay, the next ordinance for first reading is regarding business license regulations. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 553 of the Renton Municipal Code, amending business license regulations to exempt certain residential landlords from business license registration requirements, clarifying application review process and the city's authority to deny licenses, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Halloran.
I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilmember McGivern.
Yeah, I wanted to really quickly, I voted obviously on the adoption of the committee report. I'm still planning on voting yes. I don't think this is quite perfect where I wanted to see it, and I know others do feel the same, but I do think we have revenue problems in the city that we need to address, and this moves us towards that. So I think there's areas down the road, perhaps we can revisit it if need be, but I think this, I'm willing to vote yes. And I think we have President Corman on a leg.
Oh, somebody's pounding in the background here. I believe you are referring to the next ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were on the B&O. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's next.
My apologies. I was distracted. There was banging on my door with my child. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. We'll let you take another shot at it on the next one. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the final ordinance for first reading is regarding the B&O taxes. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 525.4 of the Renton Municipal Code to update and phase out the business and occupation tax annual cap with fixed caps through 2024 and replacing the cap starting in 2025 with a rate reduction for taxes paid by an individual taxpayer above $12 million in a given tax year. Repealing definitions for inflation adjustment from RMC Renton Municipal Code 525-2P.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Corman?
Okay, I haven't finished reading the
Yes.
ordinance yet.
Please continue.
Okay, so repealing definitions for inflation adjustment from RMC 525-2P and 526-3D, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, seconded by Councilmember Prince, that this ordinance be placed on second and final reading at the next council meeting. Any discussion? Councilmember McGivern.
I think I said what I said already, so I'll just say ditto, and I apologize for, apparently Council President Corman is on a leg, and I'm somehow was already in the future or something, so.
Mr. Mayor, can you hear me?
Not very well,
Yes,
sir.
Councilmember Corman, if you can hear us, your connection is really bad and you sound like a really slow robot. Okay, and we have, okay, Councilmember Van, you have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just suggest Council President Corman to call in if possible, because it seems that he wanted to speak from prior agenda items as well. But just for this B&O tax, I appreciated staff and their hard working on it. I know it's not perfect, and so I just want to make that note for the record as well, that we'll continue to look at it as we bounce back, recovery from the pandemic. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Corman, if you can hear us, is there any way for you just to call in a landline and participate that way?
He just dropped.
Perfect.
He might be trying to call in.
Yeah. If you guys are okay, we'll just give it 1 minute. Councilmember Benedetti. You have your hand
Thank you,
raised.
Mr. Mayor. Recognizing that we, might not be all the way there, I do want to say that I really appreciated the fact that staff took council's discussion and consideration and really took it very seriously and kept on bringing us back alternatives. I feel like they really listened to us. And so I think that we're most of the way there.
All right, thank you.
So I think we have a second to move this to second and final reading.
We
have a
did.
first and a second. I was just giving Councilmember Corman a minute to hopefully get back on. And Councilmember Mcgivern.
The only thing I'm sorry, this was a logistics question for Councilmember Foreman. Will we be able to identify maybe he's on a phone number, Jason? I'm assuming maybe raise his hand or something, unless we just call him in on.
Yeah,
Yes, he's going to try calling in right now, and we'll let him in as soon as he gets on.
Right.
So yeah, okay. I believe Judith gave him the number.
The wind is wreaking havoc with the telephone lines. Oh, there we go.
Is he coming on board?
There we go. Councilmember Corman, can you hear us? Ay, ay, ay. Councilmember Corman. There, you just unmuted.
Finally,
There he is.
I
Okay.
am here.
We can hear you.
Yay.
I thank you for your patience. I've been watching the meeting, and when I try and speak up, I freeze. So, thank you for giving me a chance to participate.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are on, we are on ordinance 6038, the B&O tax, and we have, it's been moved and seconded, and we're asking for any discussion at this point.
Okay, well, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I did hear Mr. Mcgivern's comments, and I agree with Mr. Mcgivern's concerns about this, and I know it's the council has looked at it with a lot of gravity. I would just like to say that I'd hope the city would remain open-minded, depending on how the future looks, to possibly revisit this. And but I thank Mr. Mcgivern for his comments.
All right, thank you. And I see no other hands. We'll go for the vote. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, the next ordinance is for second and final reading. And it's regarding the budget, and I want to state that we received no additional comments or correspondence. So, an ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending the City of Renton fiscal years 2021-2022 biennial budget as adopted by ordinance number 5991 and amended by ordinance number 6017 and 6021 by increasing the budgeted revenues and expenditures by $39,469,098 and $23,744,620 respectively, amending the 2021 salary table and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Prince, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Do we have any discussion? This vote requires a roll call.
Council President Corman,
Aye.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Van,
Aye.
Councilmember Benedetti,
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
Aye.
Councilmember McGivern,
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
All right, thank you, motion carries.
Okay, the next ordinance for second and final reading is establish the 2022 property tax levy. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, establishing the property tax levy for the year 2020-22 for general city operational purposes in the amount of $23,300,071, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Prince, that the council adopt the ordinance as read. Any discussion? Okay, this also requires a roll call.
Council President Corman,
Aye.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Van,
Aye.
Councilmember Benedetti,
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
Aye.
Councilmember McGivern,
Aye.
and Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
Okay, the next ordinance is regarding, is authorizing the property tax levy for 2022. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, authorizing the dollar amount and percentage increase for the property tax to be levied for the year 2022, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
And Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember O'Halloran.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember O'Halloran, second by Councilmember Prince, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Any discussion? This requires a roll call.
Council President Corman,
Aye.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Van,
Aye.
Councilmember Benedetti,
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
Aye.
Councilmember McGivern,
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the next ordinance for second and final reading is regarding code enforcement regulations. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, repealing Section 132 of the Renton Municipal Code, revising and moving code enforcement regulations to a new Chapter 1-10, updating references from Section 132 to Chapter 1-10 throughout the Renton Municipal Code, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Prince, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that the ordinance be adopted as read. Any discussion? Okay, this ordinance requires a roll call.
Council President Corman,
Aye.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Van,
Aye.
Councilmember Benedetti,
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
Aye.
Councilmember McGivern,
Aye.
and Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, the final ordinance for second and final reading is regarding the Rainier Avenue South and North Corridor Improvements Condemnation Ordinance. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, providing for the acquisition by eminent domain of property located near or adjacent to Rainier Avenue South and Rainier Avenue North, Renton, Washington, for roadway improvements, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember McGivern.
I move that this ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember McGivern, second by Councilmember Perez, that this ordinance be adopted as read. Any discussion? This ordinance also requires a roll call.
Council President Corman,
Aye.
Councilmember Perez,
Aye.
Councilmember Van,
Aye.
Councilmember Benedetti,
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
Aye.
Councilmember McGivern,
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
Okay, motion carries. We are on to new business. Council President Corman.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We're at that special time each year when we select next year's council leader. And with that, I would like to move to nominate and elect Councilmember Ryan Mcgivern as the 2022 Council President and Councilmember Valerie O'Halloran as the 2022 Council President Pro Tem.
Second. Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman and seconded by Councilmember Perez that Council Member McGivern be the 2022 Council President and Council Member O'Halloran be the 2022 Council President Pro Tem. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Council President Corman.
Yes, I think because we have so many new members of the council and new members coming on to the council that will all want to and benefit from being able to be in this council leadership position in the future, I am eager to move to offer Council Member O'Halloran a chance. She'll be in her 4th year as she moves on to Council President, which has been done in the past. And so I think she'd be a good choice. Obviously, I have a lot of confidence in Ryan Mcgivern, and he'll be excellent as next year's Council President.
Okay, Councilmember Van.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, I think Councilmember Benedetti had her hand up first.
No, there's no hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, actually, I'm not sure what happened there, Council. I'm sorry, not sure what happened there, Mr. Mayor. Am I to understand that these are is this a single vote or 2 separate votes? It looks like 2 separate items on the agenda.
The motion, it was made in one motion, and we've done it both ways in the past. So his motion is nominating both positions.
Nominate and elect both positions.
Nominate and elect both positions at once.
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Van.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. For me, I would like to have us go through the process of each individual role and vote. As part of this discussion, I'm just making note of it. But I know the motion is to have 2 individuals to be nominated and elected. So I guess we can wait to go through the voting and then I'll motion.
Okay. So no action there. Okay, any other discussion? Yes, Councilmember McGivern.
Well, first of all, I would certainly like to thank Council President Corman for his confidence in nominating me to serve as Council President next year, and I would be eager and excited to accept that position. So I do hope that I have the support of my colleagues on that vote. What I might suggest for if there are folks who would like to see them addressed separately, certainly any motion can be amended by motion, and or the maker of the motion can certainly also do that if he so chose as well. So I don't know if I would throw that out there. Hearing that I at least hear a couple of my colleagues looking to consider them separately, I would move to amend the motion. Feels weird doing it just for Council President, but maybe that would be or maybe we can start with Pro Tem. I don't know. Or maybe someone else would rather make that motion. It would be less awkward for me to do it. I don't want to move myself, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I understand. Well, we have a motion on the floor, so we need to either vote on that motion or amend it. So, Councilmember Van.
Yes, sorry. I was taking a different approach of voting that motion and then doing my own motion, but I can amend. Thank you, Councilmember Mcgivern. I would like to amend the motion to nominate and elect 2022 Council President and Ryan Mcgivern.
So that doesn't change the motion.
And
I believe she wants to strike the second part.
to strike the second part.
Okay, you'd like okay, so you're making a motion to strike the second part of the motion.
Part of the
Okay.
motion.
Second?
Okay, so now we have to vote on this one. We're amendment deep here, so any, we do have a
Who made the
conversation
second?
here.
I'm sorry.
So it's been moved by Councilmember Van and seconded by Councilmember Benedetti that we strike the second part of the motion, nominating and electing the pro tem position. And now we are on for discussion of that.
Okay.
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I have to do a lot of things at the same time. I'm not going to argue about the separation of the motion. I'm just going to argue on favor of what the President Corman just said. I want to remind this council that before I was elected president of the council in 2019, for 10 years in a row, we just have males as president of the council. And as it is, after me, we have had 2 males back to back. This is a majority of women elected officials as council members in this council. And I think it is a need to be inclusive and rotate the role between women and men. Since the last time that we have a president of the council, I argue this for the last 5 years until I was elected president of the council. And it not was because of me, but I understand that in the past we just have maximum of 2 women on the council, and for a while it was just me. Now that we have 4 females serving on the council, I think it's very important to consider rotating between men and women. We are always talking about equality and equity in the city of Renton. I think as council members we need to consider the same. I think Councilmember O'Halloran has proven herself that she is very committed to this council. I think she has shown us her type of leadership. And Councilmember Mcgivern as well has waited for his turn, and he has been proven to us that he's someone that we can trust 100%. I'm not saying here how we have to vote, but and if we want to separate the votes, I am okay with that. But I want to say that I feel very comfortable by these nominations, because I feel that these 2 individuals have what it takes to move us forward for the next year and the following council. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Van.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And, I appreciate Councilmember Perez and her comment. I think that, with all of our council colleagues here, we're committed to the council and for what's best for the city. And that when we look in terms of equity, there's many factors of equity as well. And that I do encourage my colleagues to think of other factors of equity. And of course, we have other female council members on as well as other male council with other equities that's needed to be considered.
Okay, so now we are going to vote on the amendment, which is to strike the second part of the motion. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor of striking the second part of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
No.
Nay.
Was that Mr. Corman?
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, that was a nay from Mr. Corman.
Thank you.
okay. Okay, so it looks like that passed, so we will be striking that second part of the motion. So now we are going to move on to the first part of the motion, which is to vote in Councilmember Mcgivern as council president. Any conversation on that? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion carries. We have elected Councilman Mcgivern as next year's council president. Congratulations, Ryan. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President Corman.
I would like to move that we elect Council Member Valerie O'Halloran the Council President Pro Tem next year.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that Councilmember O'Halloran be elected as Council President Pro Tem in 2022. Any discussion? Yes. Councilmember Mcgivern.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, as we're going through this process, I'm wondering, and maybe this is how we've done it before, I'm not sure. Is it not normal to call for additional nominations typically? I was sensing that before. That's the only reason it seems like we're approaching it this way. And if so, I certainly think that might be appropriate. I don't know that this is necessarily, about anyone in particular. I just want to make sure we are inclusive in that process, because I did feel like I heard some feedback the other way.
Okay.
Can I speak to that,
Yes, yes,
Mr. Mayor?
yes, Jason.
The council rules don't specify exactly how they're, how people are nominated and elected. It just says
That's what I
that
was gonna say.
they will be nominated and elected. So we've done both ways in the past. We've done the option where we just make a motion, somebody makes a motion like they did for you, Mr. Mcgivern, and then we've also called for nominations in the past. So it's, but with the motion on the floor, we'll have to address that first. So.
Yeah.
And
Council-
Mr. Mayor,
Hold on, there's somebody else in front of you here, Council President Corman. Councilmember Perez, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to clarify, my intention was not offend anybody with my previous comment. I want to say that in 2020, we were joined by 3 new council members, 3 females that have been outstanding serving the city. And when we have 3 people on our council members, normally what is the rule that can normally follow is seniority. And even though Councilmember Valerie is just up in seniority for 1 month, and Councilmember Van is up in seniority of Councilmember Renton also for 1 month, that's the rule that we have been following as a council for the positions that we have been able to appoint or elect. I certainly wish or want to see in the future the new council members to be moved on to positions of leadership, as Councilmember Corman mentioned it, because I do believe that this is a part of who we are, and we need to give opportunity to every single council member to serve in different capacities. That will be it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Council President Corman.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to clarify that and add on a little bit to what the clerk said. I've always seen a motion made, and then, but we could talk about other solutions. So I'm not saying, just because I've made this motion doesn't mean people couldn't talk about alternatives in the discussion on the motion. But typically we'll make a motion and then we'll discuss whether that's, the right direction. But for the reasons that Councilmember Ruth Perez just said, I feel like this is a good direction.
All right. I do not see any more hands at this time. Oh, we do. Okay. Councilmember Benedetti. No, hand down.
Oh, no, hand down because I thought you were calling on me.
Okay, Councilmember Benedetti.
So let me just try and understand our process here. So are we going to go forward with voting on this particular motion, or are we going to open
Yes.
for more nominations?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, we have a motion on the floor, we have to vote on it. Yeah. We can't change the rules in the middle of the game. It can be amended, but we can't not go through with the motion, so. Okay, all right, we're gonna go ahead and take the vote at this time. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
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 Okay.
Ryan, how did you vote?
Sorry, it was a no.
Okay, all right, motion does not carry. Council President, Corman, you still have new business on the floor.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to announce that, well, I guess I'm not sure if we're done with this, the first topic, but I will announce so that I don't forget to announce that there is that we are canceling Committee of the Whole for November 22nd. But we will hold the regular council meeting at 7 o'clock via video conference. And that's all my new business, although I think we probably need another motion to determine count. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? Councilmember Benedetti?
Yes, sir.
Are we accepting motions for the, for item B in new business? Or are we going in turn?
I was gonna go in turn, but if you have a motion you'd like to make for President Pro Tem, then
Okay.
that is certainly within your,
I'm sorry, this is totally a new process to me, so.
do you have a motion or was that just?
I do have a motion.
Okay,
I would like to nominate Councilmember Ed Prince as President Pro Tem for 2022.
Second.
okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Benedetti, seconded by Councilmember Vaughn, that Councilmember Prince be elected Council Pro Tem for 2022. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, motion carries.
I didn't catch Mr. Corman's vote.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was,
I support Mr. Prince. I always have, and if he's if council is ready to go back through some more of the senior members, he's a fine choice. There's no question. So, I say aye.
okay. So you have the count?
I believe so now. Yes, sir.
Jason?
It passed.
Okay. All right, perfect. So that business has been done. So now we are on to Councilmember Perez.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Councilmember Van,
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Benedetti,
I have no new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
You're muted. Sorry, Valerie, you're muted.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, next Monday, November the 22nd at 4 p.m., the Finance Committee will be meeting via video conference. We have 9 items on the agenda. The first is the Washington Department of Commerce 2019 Local and Community Project Grant for Family First Community Center. Second is the renewal of the Kaiser Permanente healthcare contract for 2022. Third is the renewal of the Healthcare Management Administrator's contract for 2022. Fourth, Municipal Court Administration reorganization. Fifth, non-represented salary review and adjustment for 2022. Sixth is the salary increase for non-represented salary group in 2022. Seventh, reclassification. 8, vouchers, and 9, emerging issues in finance. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Mcgivern.
I have no new business, Mr. Mayor, to announce, although I'm looking at that picture of the dais sitting there empty, and I'm just thinking, longing for us all being back in person. So I hope that's a preview of things to come. I think these meetings will go much more smoothly. Not no reflection on you, Mr. Mayor. I've been part of the problem with that too tonight. So yeah, but that is all. I have no new business to announce. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, we are slowly working through our technical difficulties, and we crossed a hurdle tonight, so we're getting closer. All right, Councilmember Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning and Development Committee is meeting on Monday, November 22nd, via video conference at 5 p.m. We have 3 items on the agenda: Urban Forest Management Plan 2022-2032, Docket 16 update, and emerging issues in CED. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Council President Corman.
Yes, we're at the end of the meeting, right?
Correct, yes, we are done with new business.
Yeah, yep. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I move that the council meeting recess into executive session for 30 minutes to discuss labor negotiations pursuant to RCW 42.30.144B. No official action will be taken, and the council meeting will adjourn when the executive session is adjourned.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Corman, second by Councilmember Mcgivern, that the council recess into executive session for labor negotiation discussion. It will approximately be 30 minutes. No action will be taken, and council will be excused and adjourned immediately after. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Council President Corman, did you have a?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to apologize for my technical difficulties. I was at an LTAC meeting. Power's been out all day at my house, but I managed to do an LTAC meeting earlier today, and everything was fine. I think some cell towers have gone down or something since then, so I apologize to the council. And I thank you for your supporting me and finding a way that I could participate via the telephone.
No, we're glad that we could figure it out. And will you be able to make it over to executive session? We will wait for you.
Oh, yes. Can Judith send me, if Judith is still with you, could she send me a new link for that?
Yes.
A phone link for that?
I will send that to you.
You bet.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, thank you. We are on to executive session.